Hello everyone, this is Leftos from the NLSC forums, and I'm here to give you a quick tour of NBA Stats Tracker, my tool that began as a workaround for the bug that NBA 2K12 have with the team stats. It would record them incorrectly and mess them up inside the game, but with your ideas the then named the correct team stats tool became what it is today, NBA Stats Tracker. It's my thesis. It's a basketball analysis tool for everyone, either whether you're playing NBA 2K12 or you're a coach or a fan and want to keep track of your favorite league. So here's the main interface. You can see that you can check teams, players, search for players, check out the whole league in a glance, update the database with box scores, add teams and players if you're beginning a league from scratch, save of course, and you can also import and export from the 2K12 game, and as well download the real NBA stats automatically and box scores. So we could download them now, but let me show you a recent download I have of the last year's, of course, NBA stats. The season is 2011-2012. As you can see, when I open team overview, I have all the stats of the team, the averages, its rankings in the league for both the season and the playoffs. If opponent stats are available, those are in as well. You can see that besides how each team does, you can see how its opponents do against them. So here are team stats, split stats. Split stats require box scores, which I haven't entered for last year's league yet. But as you can see, it can give you separate stats for your home games, away games, wins, losses, season playoffs, and if you adjust the time frame between, let's say, January and July, you can see that you can get monthly stats. So player stats are pretty much self-explanatory. You can see all the players of each team and their stats. You can sort by any stat you want to check them out, who is better in each stat. You can also check their metric stats. Metric stats are, for those who don't know, special mathematic functions which take many player stats into account and give you a better understanding of the player in many aspects of their game. So if you leave your mouse over a specific stat for a while, you can see tooltips show up explaining what each one does. Those of course will be in the manual when I get around to making one. So best performers are the 6 best players of the team. They're picked based on their game score metric, and I've compiled the list of the averages of the last 30 years of NBA stats and have determined which are the most significant stats for each position and from which value and on the stat becomes significant. So for example, besides the points per game, which are significant for any player, you can see that a guard will have if a guard manages to get as many as 6 rebounds per game, it will be pretty significant. While if a center gets 7 rebounds, that's not as significant as his 2.5 assists that he manages each game. A center is supposed to grab rebounds, it's not that significant. 7 rebounds is a good number, but 2.4 assists per game from a center, that's really good. That's why it's put more prominently up in his list than his rebounds. This is done for each player. As you can see, box scores, we don't have any right now, but you can enter them yourself or download them from basketballreference.com. You can also check it, 2 teams head to head For example, I'm now comparing the 76ers to the Jazz. I can see that the 76ers have a better point differential, the Jazz are better at their field goal percentage, the 76ers are better at 3 points, and so on. You can also compare, these are the season stats, these are the playoff stats, and if there are box scores that are taken into account, any games between them for this season, they will be shown here. If you can also switch to a specific time frame to compare how the teams have done against each other in a specific time frame. And you can also compare either their stats against everybody else. As you can see here, we take into account all the 66 games of last year's regular season, but you can also only compare how they're doing to each other, which also of course requires box scores. Head-to-head best performers takes two teams and puts them against each other. It takes the best guard, the best forward, and the best center, and you can of course check out get a quick head-to-head comparison of the main points of each player. So you can see that the best guard from the 76ers is Andrei Iguodala with 12.5 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, and 0.5 blocks per game, while Darren Collison on the Pacers, he has 10 points per game, but is also up to 4.5 assists per game and also grabs 3 rebounds per game. You can also check out the other players. It gives you a quick view of the matchup between the teams before the game as players go. And yearly report is for those that are willing to keep track of the stats over multiple seasons. You can check out how its team did in its season, its playoffs, all seasons, all playoffs, and all their games. How each team has done over the career you've keeping track of. You can also get a scouting report. This is the whole point of the thesis, that you'll be able to get scouting reports in natural language. For now, you can only get generic scouting reports for the overview of each team for this season. But I'm going to work on that in the coming days and get pretty much every tab that can be translated into a scouting report. You can do it will be done into a scouting report. So pretty much every tab, instead of just hundreds and thousands of numbers, you can get it in a quick text, get a quick overview, which will be also helpful if you're on a mobile device. And as well, you can copy the text to the clipboard if you want to paste this somewhere. For example, if you're doing an NBA 2K12 association, you can get the scouting report and you can post this as a story in your thread. You can also change the team name if you want to give it a nickname or add the city name or whatever, and of course you can change the stats and save them. Okay, let's go now to players. For players, if you first select team, then select a player. Let's give you your favorite guy, LeBron James. You can see his stats, his averages, his rankings. These are league-wide rankings. So he's 4th in minutes per game, he's 3rd in points per game, he's 55th in field goal percentage. In his team, he's 1st in many categories, and he's 16 rebounds, and you can also see how good he's done for his position. Split stats are just like the team stats we saw. The team split stats, it requires box scores to be entered, and you can get a quick look on how the player has done in home and away games, wins and losses, season playoffs, and monthly stats, of course. Box scores would have box scores, of course, for this player, his recent performances, and you can all, of course, either view them by season or in a specific time frame. Head to head, you can compare each player to another player Here we go. You can see these players head to head. Here any box scores from the games they've played will be shown, and also you can only check out how they've done against each other. A really useful feature, this one. And of course yearly report, which shows you a player's progress over the years, per season, and their whole career stats. I'm hoping to soon be able to give you scouting reports as well for players. Advanced Player Search offers you a full search of the whole players database for a specific season. You can either search by name specifically, or a part of the name. You can limit the players by position. You can also only look for players who aren't injured right now. You can add specific filters. Let me check out which players are better than 40% from the 3-point line. I can add multiple of these. I can also check who are good from the 3-point line but are also not very good from the free throw line. Let me do this search, and here they are. You can see that they're already sorted by 3-point percentage, because that was the first filter I picked. Metrics are the first filters that are taken into consideration for the sorting, then averages, then totals. So you can see they're sorted by 3-point percentage, and I can also see that none of them has over 85% from the line, just like I told the program NBA Stats Tracker to give me. And of course here they are, their averages, their totals, their metric stats, everything you need to know about the player is here. So here's a good scouting tool to find players you may be interested in. Here's league overview, the whole league in a glance. You can get the team stats, of course. You can also compare its team stats to the league averages. You can limit the stats between specific time frames, as always, depending on the box scores you've entered. Here are the playoff stats, only teams that have played at least one playoff game are shown here. Also the playoff averages, team metric stats as well, specific metric stats that can be used for teams. The league leaders is a sub-portion of the player stats. It only takes into consideration players that can enter the official NBA league leaders table based on the rules of the NBA. So even if a player is really good at 3-point percentage, they have, I don't know, 100% from the 3-point line. If they've only scored 5 3-pointers in 40 games, they wouldn't be in the league leaders. That's not a significant stat. That's probably more luck than anything. So as we can see, we can also sort, and we can see that although Steve Novak is eligible for the 3-point percentage league leader stat, he's not eligible for the field goals or the free throw percentage stat. These are all the rules of the NBA. If you don't care about those rules and you only want to see the whole player stats, everything including averages and totals, without limiting it to an advanced player search as we just saw, you can do that from this table. You can also check out their players against the league average. Here are the metric stats for the players as well. The best performers of the whole league, as we saw, just like the teams, it mentions their position and team and their 5 most significant stats, well, 4 along with their points per game, which can or cannot be significant. And of course box scores, all the box scores you've entered between either for the current season or in a specific time frame. So if you want to update with the box score, you can do it here. You pick the 2 teams that played. Of course you can pick the same teams. You enter the team box scores, or if you have the time, you can, as always, pick the players, enter the specific stats, and then click on calculate, and this will add up all the player stats and put them here for the teams. You pick the season the game was in, the date it happened, and of course if you've entered a complete box score for each team, you can get metric stats for that game and the best performers of each team. We're going to see that soon. Here's the add teams and add players. Here I can add some new teams to the game, and here I can also add players by entering the last name, first name, a team, and a position. If you're building a league from scratch, this should be useful. I can also import from an NBA 2K12 save or export to an NBA 2K12 save if that's your thing, if you play that game. And I can also download the latest stats, as I told you. So in order to get a feeling for the box scores, besides all the other features we saw, let me find the box score to let the tool download it and show it to you. Here we go. Let me go to basketball reference. Oh, here's one in my recent history. This is game 3 of the Los Angeles Lakers Denver Nuggets playoff series. The Nuggets won 99-84. I can just copy the URL, go back to NBA Stats Tracker, click on download box score. It asks me for the full URL of the box score I want to download. I paste it here, click on OK. It needed a second, but it depends on your internet connection and how big the database is currently, because it has to match all the players from each team. And let me just show you. Let's go to League Overview, view all the box scores. Here it is. I've just double clicked on it so it can so it opens, and here we are. All the team stats are in with percentages, and I can go to each team's tab and view the player stats in full as well. For the Nuggets, check out metric stats, and of course the best performers. The tool has determined that Ty Lawson is the player of the game with 25 assists, 2 steals, a 0.31 rate of free throws to field goal attempts. This is also known as the free throw rate, how often a player gets to the line depending on their shots. An assist total 7 and 6 out of 7 free throws. He's the most important player of the game based on his game score. And of course the other top 3 performers from the Lakers: Andrew Bynum, Pau Gasol, and Ramon Sessions, and from the Nuggets, JaVale McGee, Kenneth Faried, and Andrew Miller. So you can download as many box scores as you want, or update them manually. You can download them as long as they're from basketballreference.com. And let me check out if I've missed something. Oh yes, you can of course rename the current season if you want something better to remember it by other than 1. So this is the 2011-2012 season from now on. Another nice feature of NBA Stats Tracker is the live box score, which allows you to keep track of a live game. As you can see, when I pick a team, all the team's players are in this list. I can of course move them and rearrange them to get the starters up. I can make the window bigger so I have access to more players, and once you do that, you can just click on any of those dials, and here I'm going to add a 2-pointer to Carlos Delfino. You can see that his points were updated, his team points were updated, Bucks are in front, so they're with bold. Let's say Al-Farouq Aminu scored the 3-pointer, and here we go. You can see that his points were updated, his team's points were updated. John Brockman grabbed an offensive rebound, so his rebounds went up as well. team rebounds and offensive rebounds are up, and when I'm done I can also click on copy to NST box score and get a box score with everything that I either filled out. I only need to fill the remaining information such as attempts and as well for players and any information I missed. That's another cool one. And of course, if you want to get any of the information the tool offers you to an Excel sheet to do your own editing, you can do that. Of course, I just pressed Ctrl C so I can copy. I'm going to start Excel now, and when I paste you can see everything is here, right, with the same format as in the tool. You can do your own editing or whatever you think or whatever you just want to do. So of course other stuff are coming up as well. You can you will soon be able to get scouting reports for every player and team, more detailed based on their recent history as well. Players will have more information regarding their injuries, so you can learn to play against their weakness and maybe get an approximation to when they're coming back. And more interesting stuff are soon to come up. You can also give me your ideas, your suggestions, any problems you encounter while using the tool. At the NLC forums, you just go to nba-live.com. You can visit the forum, NBA 2K12 releases and previews, or just use the search box and enter NBA stats tracker once you enter the forums. And here it is. If you go to the first page, you can just click here to give me your message, or you can check out the information that's available from the first page on. I'm looking forward to hearing from you about what you think about the tool, what's missing, what's done well, what's done not so well, everything you can do to help me until September, when I'm hoping to get my degree, and then afterwards in whatever way I take NBA Stats Tracker then. So hope you like it, hope you're interested in using it, and I'll see you soon at the NLC forums. Bye for now.